my name is Megan Koppele. This is going to be a daily workout. We're going to start with basic sit to stand. Now I've got a few props here. We have a foam roller to help stand up, and we've got a magic circle. If you don't have a magic circle, you can do a TheraBand on the outside of the legs. And I also have the magic circle on the outside of the legs, so we're working the adductors or the outer thighs as well. So I'm going to ask Renee to put her hands here and take a nice big exhale and stand right up. And then sit right back down. So this is our basic sit to stand. She's going to want to stay as upright as possible. And if she's feeling strong that day, you don't need to use the foam roller. You want to try one with that? A little harder than it looks. Very good. And sit back down. Hold it here. A different modification from this is I don't like to do the magic circle between the legs, so instead we can use a purple ball. Squeezing between the legs. Same exact thing, standing up and back down. Really take your time on the way back down. Perfect, Renee. Just do one more. Have a seat, and then I'm going to ask her to pulse that ball 10 times. While she's doing that, it also might be a good idea to do the pulses with the ring on the outer sides of the thighs too. So 10 sit to stand with the magic circle, 10 sit to stand. You can keep going, that's fine. And do 10 pulses of each. The next exercise I'm going to have Renee do is using the TheraBand. Since we don't have a pole here, I'm going to use my body as the pole. But I prefer you to wrap the TheraBand around something that's not going to move. So pretend I'm a pole. Renee is going to hold the TheraBand. She's going to sit up nice and tall. Her arms will be straight, so I'm just going to step back a little bit. And she's going to exhale, bring her arms straight back, keeping those elbows in as tight as she can. Good. This exercise is vital because if you have any sort of foot drop or problems walking, we have a tendency to look down at the floor to make sure you don't trip. So we want to strengthen these upper back muscles to alleviate those problems. She can also change this and bring those elbows out to the side. Making sure when you do this that you don't wear your shoulders as earrings. Yeah, that's not good. We don't want to do that. Put them back down. Thank you. Good. And you can do 10 of each of these. Perfect. And then relax down. Thank you, Renee. We're going to go back to the legs for a bit and do leg circles. Let's start with one leg at a time. So Renee's going to exhale, straighten that leg, and then bring it out to the side and back in. So she's going to make that circle as big as she can without letting her hips completely rotate. Good. And then go the opposite direction. Nice. And I like to do 8 each direction on both legs. Now the challenge will be doing it with both legs at the same time. So slide both legs straight. Yep. Slide them out to the side and back in. And it looks simple, easier than it is because it's a lot of abdominal connection to make sure your pelvis doesn't move. Excellent. And maybe go the other direction to show everybody. Good. Oh, and she's making a big circle. Very nice. So again, 8 each directions. If both legs are too difficult, just stick with a single leg. Thanks, Renee. Our next exercise is our combination mermaid. So this is going to incorporate spinal mobility, spinal rotation, and a little bit of hip mobility. So what I'm going to have her do first is to give me a little mermaid stretch with a twist. She's going to reach over, and notice her arms are in a V. Perfect, and come on back. The other thing I'm looking for in this stretch is keeping this back hip down. Excellent. And what we're going to do with this exercise, I like to layer it. If you do not feel comfortable with the next layer, just stick to the one you're on. So the next time I'm going to ask Renee to flip her entire body over onto all fours. Excellent. And go back the way she came from. So Renee is going to continue to do this while I talk her through it. As she's reaching the arm up and over, she's holding that leg. I'm going to ask Renee to pause like a dog at a fire hydrant and then bring it back down and then lift it back up and go back the way she came. Again, do not worry if you can't lift that leg very high. Do what you can and come back. Excellent. Let's add to this. She's going to put that right leg down and give me hip extension on the left leg. Foot up to the ceiling, lower it down, knee out to the side like a dog at a fire hydrant, and back down and go all the way back to start. So we got our mermaid stretch, our twist, and our hip mobility exercises. Come on back around, Renee. Good. Out to the back, nice. Out to the side. And then flip back around. Let's do one more just so you can see what you're looking at. and flipping around, keeping the abs in nice and tight. Leg out to the side. Leg out to the back first, good. Don't listen to the teacher. Out to the side. Bring it back down, and then I'm going to ask Renee to straighten that leg all the way back for some hip extension. I'm going to ask her to hold it here. If you're feeling strong, you can take a nice exhale, lift the opposite arm up. So if the left leg is up, the right arm is going up, and I'm going to ask her to hold this while I talk. Isn't that nice of me? When you're doing this mermaid twist, don't worry so much about perfecting the movement. It's about getting your body to move. So if it doesn't look perfect, don't worry about it. All right, hold it for another 20 seconds. Just joking. Drop it down. Thank you, Renee. Our next exercise is to target the abs. So what I'm going to ask Renee to do, if you notice, I've got her laying on top of a mat. So we're going to use the mat to cradle our head. I'm going to have her bring her arms up and over her head, grabbing the top of the mat, keeping the elbows in tight. Don't let those shoulders lift. It's always something. From here, we're going to start with the legs straight. So straighten those legs for me, Renee. This way we can really stabilize the pelvis. I'm going to then ask her to exhale, pull her head up with the mat, and come to her upper ab curl. So what I want her to actually do here is to push her head back into the mat when she's doing this. Sink that belly deep and lower back down. And keep curling up. Now, I'm going to ask Renee to keep curling, and I'm going to show you different variations for the legs. So the upper body's not going to change, but the lower body is. Straight legs is variation 1. Bend your knees for me, Renee, and you keep curling. Just ignore me. Variation 2 is with the knees bent. Variation 3 is with one leg straight and one leg up at tabletop. Good. And she's still curling. Keep that leg up there. Thank you. The last variation is with both legs up at tabletop. I lied. There's always one more variation. The last variation is to straighten the legs as you curl up. Good. So you can do both legs straight or one leg straight. So I just gave you about a gazillion variations. Pick the one that's the most challenging for you. Again, straightening both legs, straightening just one leg, both legs up to tabletop. We're working our way down, you notice that? Bring one leg down. You're almost there. Both legs down. And always a great one to do regardless is with both legs straight so you can really sink that low belly. Beautiful. Because Renee loves to do upper ab curl, we're going to show you one more variation with a little rotation. So bend your knees, and when she curls up, she's just going to twist towards me slightly and back down. So it's almost as if she's bringing that elbow towards the knee. Beautiful. So that's how we can vary the upper body. You may stop. Thank you. So the last exercise in our daily workout is going to be in prone position on all fours. Again, we want nice 90-degree angles here. As always, I'm going to layer this exercise, so choose whichever layer works best for you. Renee's going to keep moving. I'm going to torture her while I talk through each one. So we're going to start just on all fours, just exhaling, pulling the belly in. Good. Now, every time we move, we're going to exhale when we do that to engage the belly. So she's going to exhale, take her left hand and tap her right thigh. And then back down. And do it with the other side. Good. Do that again on either side. So we're alternating knee taps. Okay, you can also do same arm to same leg, so you're not reaching across. So just try a few of those. Beautiful. Now, to make this a little bit more difficult, I'm going to ask her to straighten just her right leg and tuck the toe under, which we get a nice calf stretch when we're doing that. And continue with the right arm. You're going to tap the knee and back down, and then take the left hand and try to tap the other thigh or your hip, whatever you can really reach. Good. And she's going to go ahead and do this on both legs. So I'm going to ask Renee, this is the most advanced version, taking up to both legs, and only try this one if you feel comfortable. You can also just hold this position. She's going to exhale. Instead of crossing, I want you to take the right hand towards your right hip point. Good. And back down. And then left hand to left hip point. Or you can cross over like she's doing. That's fine. Good. And if you notice, what Renee did is took her legs a little wider just to give her a better base of support. That's totally fine. Drop back down to your knees for me. And then the other variation is with the leg. So her hands aren't going to move. She's going to exhale, straighten her right leg up into the air and back down. And then left leg. Now, some days if hip extension is a problem, you can do this without lifting the leg. Just slide the leg straight for me. Good. And can you get to that tucked under toe position? That's it, because I'm always looking for that calf stretch. And back down. Do one on the other side. Beautiful. And relax all the way down. And you are done.